Hey, here we are. We are in Shmuel. Please subscribe to it. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the notifications. Make sure you know when I'm going to give the next class. And also, again, we are at, I think it was 110, 111, whatever we're at. I need 1,000 subscribers. Then I can get paid for this. Yes, I want to get paid for this channel. So please subscribe. Please like. Do what you have to do to get it going. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're on chapter 18. Verse 18. Again, I'm going to repeat verse 18 for everybody because it gets us into the story. So, V'yomer David el Shaul, so David said to Shaul, Mi anochi, mi chayai, who am I and who is my life from Mishpachat Avi Yisrael, that I come from my father's house in Israel. Ki chatan lamelech, that should be the son-in-law to the king. Okay, we went through that last week. He was being humble about this and so on and so forth. Fine. So it says, Vayihipe Eitate Meirav. It was the time that Meirav was supposed to be given to, who's the daughter of Saul, to David. V'nitna Adriel. And again, we don't know who Adriel is, other than he's a name right now. Hamacholti Leisha. Okay, that's what we got to. So now, Vatehav Michal bat Shaul at David. So Michal, who's the daughter of Saul, loved David. Well, David's a free man right now. So Michal, the younger of the two daughters, said, I like this guy. And they told to Shaul, and the matter was good in his eyes. Fine. So it says, that's Chof. Where is it? And so David says, what does it mean it was good in his eyes? He thought, because my daughter loves David and wants David, so it's good. It'll be a good ploy to get him to be killed by the Plishtim. We have one more time till we can do this. Okay, and so. That's not, okay. That's a simple way to look at it, because otherwise, why would it be good in his eyes? He doesn't want David, right? He wants to distance him from everything. He's trying to get him killed with the other place. So Vayomer Shaul said, I will give it to him, and it will be for him. He's saying it to himself, obviously. He's not saying it. He's not announcing it to the world. A snare, utihibo, yad plishtim, in the hands of the plishtim will be against him. Vayomer Shaul of David. So he did. Now Shaul says to David, "B'shtayim titchaten bi hayom." With two, you will be married to me today. What does that mean? Rashi says, "Shtei banot yeshli." I have two daughters. Ba'achat me'hen titchaten bi. With one of them, you will marry into me. That's what it means. Okay. And it says bechada matron, bechada betrayin, one or two, as it says shalosh anochi notelecha. Okay, fine. So it says bechalacha achat. Where is it? Mehem. Choose one of them. I have two daughters. Choose one. Now, I don't know how you can give two daughters away, because he already gave Meirav away. So I'm not sure why Rashi is saying this, but we'll get into this as we go. So he said, Metzudas David says with this, Vayomer Shaul, again, he said to himself, and then he said, it'll be a mokesh, it'll be a snare, ki al yedei kain, yilachem plishtim, because through this choice that he's going to give him, he's going to have a war with the plishtim. Again, the plishtim will kill him, and all the problems will be solved. Okay? So, b'shtayim tichatem pi, which means, with one of my daughters, I'll give Meirav by force, or I can give Michal with her willingness. After all, she's only Mikadeshet to the other one. What's the big deal? I'll break it up. I'll force the situation. Well, it's just a payment in the end anyway, right? So
they have to go in reverse order of age, don't they? The daughters.
Why do they have to?
Because that's the custom.
Okay, but he says, I'll force Meirav to break off from her beloved, Adriel, and I'll marry her. If you choose, just your choice. Your choice, David, you have the choice. Okay, he wants to give him the choice. So then it says, The Malbim goes on to this and says there'll be a snare to him. Sheyimsar nafshal l'sakana. He's going to put his soul into danger. Why? Avor ahavato, because of his love. He has his love for the girls. Okay, I have to show my strength. Fine. And according to the opinion that says that Meirav was totally engaged, Chashav gam came shishaena ba'avera. He thought, so he'll also marry her as a sin. No, she's already totally engaged to totally married, as it were, to somebody else, as we discussed last week, and he'll take her. Bal Korcha, by force, and that will be the snare to him because that's adultery, right? Remember, in the world of Jewish marriage, if I'm mikadeshet at the woman, if I get what we're calling today engaged, but it's not engaged, it's much further, more than that. I owe her, I'm really married to her. If I'm mikadeshet to that woman has sexual relations with another man, both of those people are obligated to die by law. In other words, there would have to be people fought. In order for that to happen in a court of law, there would have to be 2 witnesses, blah, blah, blah. That would be really hard to kill them. But as far as God's concerned, they both committed adultery, and the death penalty is issued for adultery. Okay? So it's a very bad sin. Understand what I'm saying? Okay? In a normal thing, adultery is bad, but this is even worse because you're mikadeshet. So they would both be obligated to die. If you look at the I think it's in Leviticus. No, not Leviticus. It's in. I think it's either Leviticus or Devarim. I forget where. But it talks about the rape cases. Where it ever talks about the rape cases. That's where it goes through the thing. It says, if you find a woman in the city, blah, 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 and you have relations with her, you're both obligated to die. Okay? Why? Because she was engaged at that point. Or she was married. Either one of the two. Okay? It wasn't just a simple rape case where nobody was married here. Then he has to pay her money and we can kill him, and so on and so forth. But there were certain things going on there.
Are any rings involved at this? Are there any...
Money exchange. It could be a ring. Say it again.
There's to an outsider. There's no one. There's no ring. There's nothing to indicate from afar who this state of being between them.
Well, no, the girl usually gets a gold ring.
During this period.
Yeah, that would be her kesef kedushin. That would be what we call the money of betrothal, I guess you would call it.
Basically, a receipt. The ring.
It's not a receipt. It's her, the payment she receives for agreeing to be exclusive to this person. It's not a receipt. The receipt is worthless. It's the money that means something. Yep. So, by the way, if she would have a ketubah, it would be the same thing. That would be the receipt. The marriage document.
Yeah, but I didn't know that if you approach someone who's in that kind of relationship, you can tell any physical...
I'm not sure. Again, if she wears a ring, yes. If she doesn't have the ring on, then no. Then you wouldn't know. It's like today. You wouldn't know what's going on either. You have to take the... There's one, it's interesting. When a woman gets married, she wears a head covering, right? That's a halacha. Halacha says that when a woman gets married, she has to put on head covering because the hair is only for a husband and nobody else in the world. Fine. So when I was single, I used to go to single outings that what every person has to torture themselves with. Well, we all have to do that. It's part of the rigmarole of trying to get married. Well, there was somebody there who I knew as a married girl. And she had a head covering on. So then, but she sat down at this place and I said, whoa, why are you here? You're married. She didn't want to say anything to me. Finally, it came out that after I saw her at another event, because she said, I'm with a friend. That was her answer. And then after another event, I said, you're going to get a reputation here. I was friendly with her from before, so it's not like I was speaking to a stranger. And she said, I got a divorce. I said, oh, but why still wearing the wig? If you're divorced, if you're back on the market, take off the wig. She said, my rabbi told me I have to wear it. I said, okay, I'm not going to get involved. So I don't know why the rabbi said. I'm not sure what the halacha would be at that case.
Goes still once a week.
No. I think she got remarried. Somebody found her. But it's the point is that would be a sign today. If you see a woman with a head covering, then you walk away. As a matter of fact, I remember this in my shul. No, in the Ashkenazic world, boys don't wear a talit until they get married.
Yeah.
That's when they put the talit on.
Asked you about that one.
Yeah. So now what happened was there was a kid in my shul in Maine, and he was his parents still lived there. He didn't live there anymore. Not married, and he had but he would wear a tallis because that was the minhag of that shul.
Oh.
The minhag of the shul was you wear a tallis. Fine. So what happened was there was a funeral, and of somebody from that. What they did was they died outside of Bangor, and they would be brought back into Bangor because it was so cheap to bury them in Bangor. But that's really what it was. So I never met the person who was dead, but we have to make the eulogies. Well, this person had a niece who came in for the funeral. Nice looking kid too, and single girl. And so she sat in the shul because she came to davening, and she sees the guy with the tallis. So I said, when we were talking at the car, as we were getting everything at the funeral, everything was finished. So I was talking to her at the car and saying, where are you living? Blah, blah, blah. She told me. I said, you're not married yet? She said, no. I said, well, are you looking? So she knew I wasn't asking for me. And she said, yeah. I said, well, how about the guy that was in the shul today? He said, he's married. So what are you talking about? He's not married. He had a tallis on. In her mind, once you were a tallis, you're married. So she would no longer look or want to explore that issue. And so I said to the kid, I said, when you walk in certain places, you have to understand that's why they're not interested, because you do it. So he said, should I take it off? So I'm not going to tell you what your minhagim are. I'm just telling you that you have to realize that some people take that as a hint that you're married. So it depends on where you are. You better understand that. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. So we have different signals as to when a person is engaged, married, and so on and so forth. Okay, but most women like to flash their ring today. They like to flash. They see what I see. Okay, that sort of thing.
It's hot in here. I think I'll take my ring off.
No, it's so hot. They like to flash their. You never saw that? Oh, come on. You will. You'll see that. When girls get engaged, especially if they get the diamonds, that's when they like to show it. Okay. But that's really what it is. So,
who sponsored these singles clubs you told me about once a week or whatever?
It wasn't. It was, you had to pay for it. It was.
Where'd you go?
It was in Boston. It's in Boston. Different places. Yeah. Whenever they want to make money, they would make a singles thing. Okay. I don't know if they ever made money, but let's go on. So it says, okay, Vaitzav Shaul. So Shaul commanded Avadav, his servant, saying, Dabru el David, Balat lemor, say quietly, secretly to David, Hinei chavetz becha melech, behold, the king desires in you. V'chol Avadav ahevucha, and all his servants love you. V'ta hitchatem b'melech. And now marry into the king. First he was telling, remember, first he says, who am I that I should marry into the king's family? So Shaul knows this. Shaul still wants to get rid of him. Shaul has to convince people. He has to convince David to want to join the family. So he doesn't go to David this time and say, David, I want you to marry one of my daughters like that. Well, he does say that. But now he's going to people secretly and telling them to go secretly to David to say, it's a good shidduch. It's a good match. Everybody wants you. Everybody loves you. Let's go for it. Okay? And he has to convince David to want to do this. Because David is like, who am I? What am I doing? Leave me alone. So, again, the Malbim says, Vayitzav, he commanded, what does that mean? Ya'an ra'ash David pagli bold, man. Since David really was, he wasn't really believing what was happening. So that's why Shaul commanded his servants to strengthen his hand with this, as it were. They should encourage him. Yomru lo, and they should say to him, that what happened with Meirav was not something that should be, don't hold it against the king has a worm, ki chafetz bo, because he desires you, v'lo min avadav, and not from the servants that love him. Rak min merav, only from Merav. It was from Merav, apparently he's saying. But you should know something. Michal loves you. Michal loves you and she wants to marry you. So Merav may not have wanted, but Michal does. And Michal's a beautiful girl. Isn't she beautiful? Of course. Everybody agrees that Michal's beautiful. Good. Yeah.
This is what they're telling David.
Yeah.
Wait, they didn't do this when they're trying to get him to marry
Merav, in other words, they're saying, don't blame the king for Merav.
No, but were they not also doing this when they were trying to get him to marry Merav?
No.
Okay.
No, this Merav, remember, something happened with that, they don't say who initiated with Merav, that she would marry, be engaged to Adriel, but, so that's all guesswork when it comes to that. But it's, what did he say? Yeah, if you remember back to the Malbim, he said it was at the time that they were involving themselves to give him to Merav. So a happenstance came that she was given to Adriel, and she was engaged to him without the knowledge of her father. Okay, because she was the bigger one. And our rabbis, of blessed memory, have an argument about, whether David's original Kedushin, when David would engage her, whether it was a Kedushin Tov, what was a mistake, because he did it with a loan, right? The loan was of the riches that were guaranteed to him from Shaul, and therefore, since he didn't yet have it, he couldn't really engage her. Notice he said, I'm engaging you based upon what your father's going to give me. Well, it's not in my hand. If I don't own it, I'm doing it with a loan. I'm not allowed to marry a girl with a loan, which is what we talked about last week. Okay? So that would be the question. And then...
they weren't doing the whole, marry her.
No.
They only had to do this one because of what happened.
Right. Because obviously the king does, okay. So obviously the king, so now the king wants to tell him, no, it's really, we want you as part of the family more than anybody else. You're one of the great, everybody loves you. Okay, great. So what happens? Vayidabru avdei Shaul baznei David. So the servants of Shaul did speak into the ears of David, these words. V'yomer David, and so David says, Hanikla be'enechem michatem b'melech. Is it light in your eyes to become married to the king? Ve'anochi ish rosh v'nikla. I am a poor man and somebody who is not, the opposite of honored. How do they translate it? No, not lowly sort of thing. Nikla is no. How do they translate it?
I'm a poor and simple person.
A what? Plain simple?
Poor and simple.
Poor and simple. Fine. Okay.
Where are we here?
It's
Page 123.
Yeah, I know, but which, right here, at the end of 23.
So he says, okay, so they say poor and, what is it? Simple. Okay, I don't know how they get simple. The Mezuzah David says, Hu hefech hamechubad, is the opposite of the honored ones. Not dishonored, but it's just, maybe that's why they're saying simple. I'm a simple guy.
In England, they would call it a commoner.
Commoner. There you go. Thank you. Okay, so he says, so that's, Mezuzah David says, explain this word hanikla, is it light in your eyes? Is it davar kali b'neichem chaten b'melech? It's such a light thing in your eyes to be married to the king. Surely, halo ein lechaten bo ki im echad nichbia'ad. The only one who should be marrying into him is one of the princely people, the honorable people, v'harbot moho, who has a lot of money. V'lanochi ish rash ve'ein kol. But I'm a poor guy, I have nothing. V'af nikla lo mechubad. I'm also a commoner, I have no lineage. Why would the king want me? Ain't so. It's not true. It can't be.
Can we translate another word, please?
Sure.
Back in 21, this says when he's talking about Saul thought that this daughter would be a snare to David.
Correct.
What is that? What's the Hebrew word?
Mokesh.
What?
Mokesh.
And what else can that mean?
Trap.
why would either of the daughters more than the other of those same daughters be more of a trap than the other one?
Oh, because he's going to do stupid things for love. When you love...
Which he wouldn't have done with the other one. The original promise.
No, again, the original one was
The sister.
Merav. He would have done it for her, but she was given away. She was engaged to somebody else at that point. So what's the use of it? So now, I have another daughter, and she loves him, and it's going to work out.
All right, so why a snare as opposed to a blessing or anything?
Oh, because she wants him to die. So he wants to get him, to send him into battle so he'll die. So he's asked
so either of those daughters would have wanted David to die?
No, the king wants it, but the king is going to basically, say go into war, and then you get my daughter again. Protect the daughter, sort of thing. So he can send him off into war if he's his son-in-law, and so on and so forth. So that's going to be what's going to snare him. Or as we said, if he picks Merav, if he forces Merav to marry him, because that was original. So then, since she was already betrothed without the father's acquiescence, according to the Malvim, so then she would be, even though she was without the acquiescence, she's still married. So if he doesn't give that get, and he forces the marriage, so now he's committing adultery, and that would be the snare too. So either way, he wins. Shaul wins.
And his hands are clean.
Right. That's all it is. That's why he's saying to himself, "Oh, this is how I'm going to get him. It's good. It's good."
And instead of a dowry, I'll trick him.
Yeah.
So, I remember last time we were talking about like how Shaul was kind of pulling Lavan, where it's like work 7
It's playing
years,
like Lavan, yeah.
like work 7 years, so it's kind of he could have gone for Merav, but instead he went for Michal, and that was it's just a kind of a fulfillment of the Lavan thing, where it's like work 7 years for this daughter, wrong daughter, work another 7 years for the other daughter. So go to war, doesn't die, comes back, wrong daughter, go to war again, doesn't die, come back, and needs a daughter.
In other words, listen, if David was appointed head of the troops, that's the snare. That sends him into battle. That he's married to either or the other or neither is not a snare.
No, but
that he's appointing him the head of the troops, that sends him to battle.
He'll fight more valiantly.
But he's fighting for his girl. He's going to fight for the girl. That's the snare.
In lieu of a dowry.
Right.
Yeah, well, I know it's Valentine's Day, but I don't get it. I don't understand what evilness is Saul thinking in his mind against his own daughter. You don't give... No.
You're looking at the wrong way. You're looking at the wrong way.
He wants her to end up a widow.
No, you're looking at... No, she can't marry to anybody else. What's the big deal? She's a king's daughter. I can always marry off the king's daughter, even if she's ugly. I can always marry the king's daughter.
Or a widow.
What?
Or a widow, or remarry.
Yeah, you can always... The king's daughter you can always get rid of. It's not, and the prince too, by the way. Again, you're marrying into money. So it's never hard. When it comes to money, it's never hard to get you married off. That's the bottom line. But it's or power. Money or power. Either way I can get you married off. So you can have one eye. Okay? I'll get you married off. You can be lame. I'll get you married off. Okay? That is, once you have money and power, we can marry you off. Look at all these people who have these young, what they call arm candy, these stars like Jack Nicholson. I'll pick on Jack. Jack, he must be 100 years old already, and yet he has somebody who's 20 or 19 years old hanging on his arm. Well, how is that? You really want to tell me that she loves him? Give me a break, okay? It's not happening, okay? She married him because of the fame, the fortune, and maybe he'll pay her some money in the end. Who knows? But watch, they'll sue me now because I said that. They're going to watch this video. They'll sue me, okay? But really, that's what it is. So if you have money, you can always get the merit. So Saul wasn't there. Saul was worrying for ultimately, by the way, he's worrying for his family. Because if David replaces him, that means the family's out. As king. That means his whole family's out anyway. They lost everything. So he's ultimately looking out for the betterment of his family. And he's saying that if I give him, he wants to marry into my family, so then the Philistines are he'll have to go to battle, and then he's going to die a natural fight. It won't be my problem. I'm just sending him, but it's not really, then nobody can blame it on me. That's all he's trying to do. So that would be the snare. Again, that's one way to look at it. Or the other way is, if he chooses a girl who's already married, the older one, and then he says, I want her because she was the original. Okay, so then forcing that, and Adriel doesn't give the divorce, so then that is a snare. By the way, that sort of thing is what's going to take David down too, because of Bathsheba later on. Bathsheba is going to be his downfall. Even though there's divorce, but we can defend 1,000 different ways, at his level, he shouldn't have done it. That's what everybody argues. So ultimately, a girl will be the one who takes him down and his family. But it's right now, that's what Saul is thinking. Saul is right. If I can get him to sin, that's the end of it. Because just as Hashem, by the way, what's going on? Just as Hashem took me out of my position because I sinned.
Yeah, he's now playing chess with God.
Right. So now I'm going to ruin the other chess piece. That's all. We try to manipulate the situation instead of just saying, okay, look, I never want to be in the beginning. Thank you very much for the opportunity, God. I'm going to back off, and you do what you need to do. I understand I messed up. Okay, I'm going to retire. Like the Pope. You had a Pope recently who retired. And never before that we have, I think one time in history we have a Pope who retired, besides this guy. But this guy retired, I don't want to do this anymore. Get somebody up, and us we have Francis. Okay, but the other guy's still alive, running around, doing what he's doing. You know.
He's under house arrest at the Vatican or something.
I don't know, but the point is, he retired. So Shaul could have all said, you know what, Rabbi Shalom, Master of the verse, I messed up. Shmuel told me I messed up. I tried to make up with you, it didn't work. I want to do tshuva, but I'm going to back off. I'm declining my position as king. Bring the next guy out. He didn't do that, right?
Once he became king, how long was David king?
How long was Shaul king, you mean?
No, once David became king,
how
long was he?
40 years.
And the end came with his
Death. He died an old man. Died 70 years old. Right. Yeah. Died in his bed, I guess. He didn't die in battle. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's 40 years.
All right.
And he also left with putting his son in power, namely Shlomo.
Yeah. Didn't he die burning, or was that Shlomo? Who died, like, he stayed up all night on...
Oh, that you're right. So that was...
Yeah, or he died not learning, rather.
Right, he looked up and he died, right. That's right. But I'm saying he was in power I believe for 40 years.
Yeah.
I believe. Okay. So, yeah. So, that's right. We're back here. So, we're in 24. Vayagidu avdei Shaul lo lemor. So the servants of Shaul said to him, saying, Kadaver ma'ela diber David. Like these things did David say. In other words, they told him what David had answered, namely that he is a low person. It's no good. Fine. So, what happened? Vayomer Shaul. Shaul said, Ko tomru leDavid. You all, remember it's plural here, you all say to David, Ein chafetz lamelech v'mohar. The king does not desire a dowry from you. No money exchanged. Because I know you don't have money. No problem. You said your excuse was you have no money. I'm not asking for money. I'm a nice guy. I just want one thing from you. Ki b'mea aralot pelishtim. I just want 100 foreskins from the pelishtim. Then I came by Melech to get revenge, to avenge the enemies of the king. That's it. That's all I want. 100 foreskins. What's the big deal? Doesn't cost you a dime. Okay? And they didn't have a bank for foreskins, just to get that out of the way. There was no bank of foreskins for the Pelishtim. You couldn't get to you had to actually circumcise them. Okay, because what is the point of Pelishtim? They were the Arelim. That's Arelim means the uncircumcised ones. Okay. Yes, we're the only circumcised ones. Yeah.
Was it implied? Is it implied that they were killed and you circumcised the dead bodies? Can you? Is that like? Or they take prisoners and circumcise?
Oh, he doesn't care.
Okay. So like,
there's absolutely no. There's no desire. Shaul doesn't care if he's going to get it because he has a telethon to how to do it and so forth. He doesn't really care how he's going to get it. What he's doing is giving him a suicide mission. Okay, let's understand that. You give me a suicide mission. Okay, you're telling me go get 100 things. Now, again, I could have a fundraiser and say, circumcise yourself for the betterment of mankind, but that's not going to work. Okay, so he actually probably has to kill 100, at least 100.
And there were no prisoners?
No, there were no prisoners. Remember, the police them around the area.
They ran after
yeah, but
I didn't know if they were prisoners there.
No, they weren't. No, because then it wouldn't have been a challenge. If they're prisoners, you just take them from the prisoners. Who cares? But the point is, he wants them to go out and die. So that's why he's saying, I just want 100 to avenge the king. The enemies of the king. Fine. V'Shaul chashav, and Shaul thought, again, when he's talking to himself, lahapil David b'yad, that this would cause David to fall into the hands of the Pelishtim. He's very clear about what he wants, what's going to happen, who knows. Okay. Yeah.
Would this be the equivalent of like the Native Americans when they were trading with the British? Is like, usually we give you money for pelts and stuff, but we're at war with the French. So go scalp 100 Frenchmen, bring us their scalps, and then we'll give you.
It could be close to that. Yeah, it would make sense. Again, for all people in YouTube land, your question was it was American Indians, yeah? The American Indians. The American Indians were asked by the British to scalp 100 French people, and with that they would give that was the currency. Yeah. So I would say that would be the British probably looked in the Torah, saw this beautiful little deal. No, it's true. Yeah. A lot of people look at the Torah because they were students of the Tanakh. Right. I mean, it wasn't strange that people would know the biblical stories, and so they probably said, "Well, this is a good thing. I can get rid of two people at one stone." What's the expression? I killed two birds with one stone. Either the French die, and fine, and we want that too because we're in war, or the Indians die. Either one, I got rid of one of the enemies here. I can only fight one war.
Expendable, unwanted soldiers,
right.
And the enemy.
Right.
Each other,
right.
Take care of each other.
So that would make sense. Okay, so again, Masudas David says 100 foreskins. Chefso b'meir aralo pelishtim lebezotam linakem ha'evav. So he says, I want. So his sale, by the way, according to Masudas David, what was Shaul's sale? How did he want to sell this 100 arilo? Why would I want 100 foreskins? So he said his desire was for 100 foreskins to embarrass them and avenge the enemy, to embarrass the Pelishtim. Here I got 100 foreskins. Again, they are the Arelim. They're proud of being uncircumcised. Okay, and then Shaul Chashav Rach Limor, but in truth it says he didn't. Vavo lo ken yeshiv. He really didn't care about the revenge. Ki im chashav lahapilo b'yad. He only wanted him to be thrown into or to fall into the hands of the enemy. So, and then also the Malbim says that Shaul thought to put him into the enemy's hands, which means ki im lochman v'horgim v'derech milchama. If he would fight and kill in the normal manner, aim b'zeh mishmata al-asar tzava, this would not fall upon the officer of the army, aval im yipol al-hanashim ha'yoshvim lebetach, but it would fall on the people who are known to be good in war. So then he would cut off their circumcisions in a denigratory manner. This would not be the way of war, but rather of one of torturing the person. So now he says, and they would want to get avenged. So he's going two ways. If he gets the Pelishtim and he wins because he sends his army there, then he gets 100 foreskins. He's going to be known as not demonic, but he's going to be known as a cruel guy. And that's going to engender a hatred from the Pelishtim forever against him. So even if he doesn't fall now, he's going to fall later. I'm going to get revenge sooner or later on this guy because he'll never be able to stop that sort of hatred against him, because he would have normally what happens in war.
See it as a massacre.
What?
He's a war criminal.
Right. So normally in a war, what do? You go out, you kill the enemy, and that's it. Die like a warrior. No, you're gonna take the foreskin off the guy. You're denigrating the body. What kind of nonsense is that? That's not proper war. That's not the Geneva Convention. Okay, so if that's the case, you're just a war criminal. As a war criminal, you're for life. We're going to keep haunting you, and we're going to keep hunting you. And that's what, again, that would be the Hapila Yadam. He wanted to bring them into their hands.
Is that why when David would later run away, and he would end up in the Palestinian land, they bring him to the court, like, look who we found.
Yes. That's exactly what's going on. When the policeman when he came to the policeman area, and that's why he feigned insanity, because how can this be David? Because remember, they didn't have YouTube, they didn't have Facebook, there was nothing there. I don't know, but the problem was they didn't have a picture of him. So there was no way to know that this was really the guy. So when he starts to drool over himself and act like a nut, again, a very interesting story with that. But that's when he says, in a world of nuts, you bring me another nut. Get out of here. Okay, we'll have to stop here.